Hello. Hi. It's our time for our Dao De Jing study today. Before we start our study today, I don't know how many people from our group actually went to the Tuesdays at Wu Healing Center, West Hartford, for Joey Wu and Master Xu Zhao's workshop. I went, so I was very, very happy to be able to finally meet some of the friends in Wu Healing group in person. So it was a great day for me. So I learned a lot from a lot of useful practices that I'm going to incorporate into my daily practice. Also was so happy to finally meet some of the friends, Heather, Matthew, and among others. So it was very nice. It was very nice. The West Hartford group has such a nice energy. It was together. I really enjoyed it. So today we're going to continue our Dao De Jing chapter 13. We started last week, so we went through about half of it. And today we're going to finish the second half. A little recap. Last week we talked about Lao Tzu saying that both good fortune and success and bad fortune and failure, they're both, when we are too attached to them, when we think that they represents what kind of person we are, then they're both disturbing factors to our calm of mind. For example, when we're successful, when we get good fortune, we're probably thinking, oh, that means I'm great, I'm better than others. So I feel like I'm losing my head, I'm up and up there. But then when I lose it, or I get bad fortune, I failed at something, I think, that means I'm not as good as others, I'm such a failure, I can't do anything. So both sides, when we attach too much of our identity to these outside things, Lao Tzu here is trying to caution us, saying that they're actually stressful, not good for our body, for our mind. Chinese has a saying called 身外之物而已. It means these are just things that's outside our body. Usually when people say this, they're talking about, for example, like money or fame or power. This is just trying to say, these are the things that's just not outside, it's not outside our body. It's not part of us. So get them, lose them. It shouldn't affect us too much. Here, Lao Tzu actually went one step further. Let's see what Lao Tzu say about our body. So Lao Tzu said, 何谓贵大患若身? So why did I say that having our body can be a big trouble? It's like, what's Lao Tzu mean here? So Lao Tzu explained, 吾所以有大患者，谓吾有身. The reason that I have a big trouble, so it's like 大 means big, so not just normal trouble, like a regular size trouble, is a big trouble. The reason I have a big trouble is because I have a body. 即吾有身，吾有何患? Here, Lao Tzu said, if I don't have a body, what trouble could I have? What problem could I ever have? what is Lao Tzu trying to tell us here? Why is Lao Tzu saying our body is a big trouble? Connect with what Lao Tzu have talked about before. We can say that if we attached our self-identity too much with our body, it's kind of like attached our self-identity with our success or failure. Lao Tzu is cautioning us, saying those can both be disturbing. It's almost one step further in the spiritual practice path, if you could say it this way. Let's think about it. So, okay, our body. So what things that, or how many things that we do a day are in our normal day life that we actually do it for our body? I can think about, for example, for me, I work. Part of the reason, I enjoy my work, but also part of the reason is then, I can then pay mortgage, and some people pay rent so I can have a place to live in. And then you have a place to live in, so my body has a place to live in. Then you have a house, then you have to clean your house. And you have to make sure that your house works properly. So you have to have, if you have trouble with electricity, you have to deal with the electricians, you have to deal with plumber, you have to deal with people. If some people might hire people to come to clean, and then, this just goes on and on and on, all because you need a place to live in, right? Think about all the things we do, that the root reason is because we need a place to live in. So that's one part. And also, a lot of people probably think about it, our body, we get hungry, so we need to cook. So we need to then, to be able to cook, we have to go to the store to buy grocery. And then, if you buy grocery, you might need a car. And to make sure your car works, you have to deal with, go to the mechanics and maintenance, and then on and on and on. So those are just the two examples. For women, is probably like, we want to buy clothes, and not just for warmth and for look good. And if you have like trouble making decisions like me sometimes, and it was like, this is good, oh, this is good, what do I do? So it's very stressful, I tell you. So think about, these are actually all the things that we do for our body. And also, on the other side, if somebody comes at you and hit you and hurt your body, and that brings all sorts of negative feelings in us, right? And we're like, why are you doing this? I hate you. And this actually, when Lao Tzu talk about here, which reminded me of what Buddha have said in Diamond Sutra. Don't know if you've heard of a Diamond Sutra. It's one of the, it's not a long one, but it's one of the very important sutras in Buddhism. Diamond Sutra was considered 说空第一, which means it's the best one that explained 空. 空 is emptiness, nothingness. And Lao Tzu in Dao De Jing used 无. We'll talk about it in even at the Dao De Jing chapter 1. Lao Tzu spent Dao De Jing chapter 1 talk about 有 and the 有 and the 无, the nothingness, emptiness, and the existence, beingness. So Buddha talked about a story that is his personal story in this book. I'll explain it to you, and you can see how that's connected with that's telling us the same story, same message as Lao Tzu is telling us here. Hi Heather, nice to see you again. So the story goes like this. Buddha said, in one of his previous lives, we're always thinking, okay, Buddha reached nirvana in one of the lives. We've heard about the story. Good morning. We've heard about the story that Buddha was born as a prince in one of the kingdom in India. He was the prince. And then he later on decided he's going to leave all the fortune, because he was certainly very rich and powerful, and he has a beautiful wife, has a lovely kid. He decided to leave that all behind and went on the path for enlightenment, because he wants to find a way that will stop suffering for everyone. So, and then you've heard about Buddha's story, that he went through 6 years of really hard practice. And then when he was almost he was at the border of death, and he lied down under a Bodhi tree. And there were things he realized, and certainly there's a lot we go in. We're not going to go in that today, but he reached nirvana. Actually, Buddha said that was just that life, that when I reached nirvana, actually there was many of my past lives that I've already worked toward it. So it's kind of like Buddha have had all that preparation, and then it fruited in that life. So Buddha said, in one of my past lives, I was a spiritual practitioner. I was practicing non-attachment. So at that time, the king in Chinese, we call it Ge Li Wang, and in the English translation is Kali Raja. So one of the king's ladies went to Buddha in Buddha's that life to listen to Buddha's speech, to listen to Buddha teaching about non-attachment. So Kali Raja, the king, got very upset. So he wanted to test Buddha. He said, if you're practicing non-attachment, I want to see whether you really can do what you're saying about not attaching to anything. So what he did is he actually cut off Buddha's hands. But Buddha was still calm. He was not mad. He wasn't angry or upset. And the king saw that didn't work, and then he cut off Buddha's feet. Buddha was still calm, and he ended up going one step further. He cut off Buddha's ears and nose. Still, towards the end, it didn't disturb Buddha's mind. And not only that, Buddha said, when one day, one of my lives, when I reach nirvana, when I learn the path to nirvana, I will find you and I will teach you. I will help you. I will also help you reach nirvana. Imagine that kind of when I say it, I'm just feeling, this is feeling in my heart, this true love, this big love that Buddha has. It's very touching. So it actually became true. So when Buddha reached nirvana, Kali Raja, certainly in one of his later lives, became one of Buddha's main disciples. So Kali Raja was actually the first one of that 500 Luohan. That's the Buddha's. Those are 500 practitioners that also reached a certain level of spiritual achievement. Buddha's students. So Buddha continued to say explained in the Diamond Sutra, he said that when Kali Raja was harming me, if I attached my self-identity with my body, if I think this is me, then I would have gotten very angry. I would have hated him for hurting me. However, because Buddha realized that when it gets to realizing a deeper truth, Buddha realized that our body, and how do I explain this? Once I realized that everything in consciousness, in our consciousness, are one. We in a way artificially separate them as this is the table, this is my body, this is my phone. However, when you take a step backwards, when you focus on keep your identity as the consciousness, the weightless consciousness, you realize all the things, doesn't matter what it is in the consciousness, that changes. Things are like I Ching, change. The world, one of the laws is change. It's constantly changing. However, nothing changes consciousness. Do you think your consciousness is different now, whatever age you are, than when you were first born, or when you were 1 or 2? Think about at that time, your consciousness and the consciousness now, and the consciousness after we die. What is death? Death is a change in our body, maybe even all changing in the you, the thingness in our consciousness. But we realize death is just another change. Every day, every second, change is happening. What's the difference? I remember when I realized that, it was like a big weight lifted off. I just felt so relaxed. So this is Buddha, back to Dao De Jing. This is why Lao Tzu was saying, I have big trouble because I have a body. If I don't have a body, what trouble do I have? Death, Heather said death is rebirth into spirit. Yes. Yeah. A lot of religion, Indian religion, is often the god of destruction also is connected with god of construction. It's like if what you currently have doesn't go, then another thing would not be able to happen here. Okay, so Lao Tzu, in the end, after the conclusion in chapter 13, is Lao Tzu said, 故 so 贵以身为天下，若可寄天下；爱以身为天下，若可托天下。Judy said, Dr. Wu would say you return to the white paper. Thank you. I again, Judy, Heather, I really love your comments. Yeah, that's what it is. We return to the white paper, and then things happening in the white paper, we come back. They're one. Right? I hope I got that right. So, in the end, Lao Tzu says, the conclusion, saying that if somebody who think 天下 means 天, the sky, 下 means under. So Chinese word 天下, which means everything under the sky. So can means like everything on earth, or we can think about everything in our consciousness. Lao Tzu saying those who identifies themselves with everything, it means it's talking about often. See, if we identify ourselves with just us, then you would say, okay, I take care of us, I take care of me, then I'm fine. And then other part, they're other, they're nothing related with me. I don't really care. There are also people who realize that everything, like bigger, maybe they put themselves as the family. They feel like their family, everybody in their family is part of them. So they need to do things that's beneficial for a whole group. There are also people who think the whole country, everybody in this country is also, I'm part of the country, they're all part of me, are one. So then they do things that they think things benefit themselves. That means things that should benefit everybody. There are also people who think, I can think about Buddha, Lao Tzu, God. They have even a bigger heart. We talk a bigger heart, a bigger sense of self. They think about all humanity. That's part of them. So then when people who have that kind of view, then when they behave, they do things benefit of all, not just doing selfish things. I mean, you can't say selfish, nothing wrong if you do things for yourself, certainly, because we are also part of everything. However, we're not just doing things that's just for us and maybe harmful for others. Here Lao Tzu says, if somebody who identity themselves with 天下, with everything, all humanity, those are the people that we can trust to lead. And those who love 天下, who love everything as themselves, those are the people that we can let them govern. What I really like, I don't know if anybody have read the Law of One books, and I really like what Ross talk about self and others. So in Law of One, Ra used the word self and other self. So everyone else, it's not other, it's not something contrary, it's our other self. It's our self too. I just found that being very lovely. Okay, so that concludes our Dao De Jing 13. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Love the comments. Thank you for working together to make this experience for everybody a very enjoyable experience, certainly for me. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Take care.